The Historical Society really sort of started its convergence well over a decade ago in what is a fairly famous case study now. Certainly a book has been written about the occasion of the Historical Society giving its 10,000 three-dimensional objects to another museum and really concentrating on being a library and archive. That was a huge decision for the board back then, and I think as a result of that, what was sort of also unforeseen now is how technology has in fact, I think, supported that decision in a very positive way. So when I look around at a lot of my peer organisations, I see them managing very large buildings with very big collections, and their challenge is to actually bring people to their physical location to see their exhibitions, their material, their plays. In our case, that's less important now because we're not a museum. Researchers will always come to our institution, but now they also have access to our collections through technology. And so this is incredibly liberating in a way that we can actually now digitize an entire collection, and someone sitting halfway around the world could in theory have the same experience of looking and researching that collection as if they had walked in the door of my institution in Philadelphia. That has all sorts of implications. It has implications in terms of the cost and the sustainability of my institution. It has implications on how we see our market and our audience as not being local, or even having to worry about things like parking and public transportation, and really seeing ourselves as having a global reach in a way that we perhaps could never have done before. But it also poses a whole lot of challenges, because I think we're in sort of this Gutenberg moment where people still like to see the original object. There is the romance of seeing the real thing, and I certainly would never want to take away from that. But somehow by having that museum experience makes you more real as an institution. And I think we're struggling with the idea is, can we be a real institution without having a physical imperative to come to our institution? Well, it's actually interesting because the total number of researchers that come to our library is around 4,000. Now that does seem low, but we actually are the most visited non-private, non-government, I should say, library or research centre in the United States. So when you think about us in that respect, I mean, we're not the Library of Congress or the National Archives, but we are absolutely at capacity and have actually seen that grow by I think about 35% in the last couple of years. Now we get another 6,000 people come through the door for special programming, but the actual core activity of doing research is low. And so I think this actually brings up a whole lot of questions about what does success mean? Because if we are counting people coming through an institution, and I think a lot of people would say, well, they're an abject failure, right? On the other hand, we have 10,000 e-subscribers. We have well over 500,000 people visiting the website. We have 2 publications that get 5,000 article downloads a week. So the metrics are changing. I think this, again, what technology is doing is changing what does success look like for you. And for every institution, I would suggest that they're changing.